Hello. So, something that I learned in the last couple of weeks, I went to an SCA camping event called Battlemore here at the end of June. And it was my first time doing SCA style camping since 2019. Between the pandemic and my leg last summer, it just didn't happen. So I forgot how to camp. That's what I learned. There was a lot of basic stuff that I forgot that I needed. Some of my stuff was already pre-packed in some bins, which made my life easy. I just needed to get textiles out and clean them because they'd been in storage since 2019. And I want to try and make the whole camping experience a little easier for everybody. Maybe have this out there in the world so that I can rewatch it myself when I'm forgetting things. What I am doing is I am getting down with my bad bullet journaling self here, and I am making some pretty extensive lists. I've got sort of my camp and general setup list. I've got my personal hygiene and garb list are kind of the big categories I'm looking at, as well as a meal plan sort of setup that I worked through with my family that's coming with me to this event. And sort of just some, before I leave, I need to remember to do this sort of things. Like put gas in my car. Because I totally have never forgotten to fill up on my way to an event until I'm running 20 minutes late. No one out there has ever done that either, right? Tell me in the comments how few of you have actually forgotten to put gas in your car and then realized it as you're heading towards the interstate. Getting ice in the cooler might be helpful. So I'm going to share a little bit of me writing these lists, and at the end I'm going to put them up for you to see, and hopefully these work out really well for you. If it's something that the basic packing list and ideas for what you might want would be helpful in more of a PDF format for you, please let me know down in the comments. If there's enough interest for it, I'll generate like a Word document or some sort of cute PDF form where people can print them off and use their own checklist for camping, packing stuff. In the meantime, let's get to making lists. All right, so first list here, we've got some basic checklists and reminders with who I'm camping with. I need to go get my site fee, reminder of when everyone's getting to site, and that we are going to have running water and showers, it sounds like, at this event. With SCA camping, at least in the region I'm in, those aren't always guaranteed, so it's good to check. Couple of things I need to do. I need to run a scroll from one of my friends up there. I need to stop by the Cheese Importers store in Longmont because they have amazing cheese and we're doing charcuterie for lunches. I need to get some cash for the event because I don't know if there's ATMs or what the cell phone signal is going to look like. So I don't know if vendors will be able to do cards. Gas up the car. I'm going to give my dog a flea and tick bath just to make sure that she is fully ready to go because she is coming with us. I need to order some sanitizer tabs for the kitchen. I need to pack up the camp, pack up the garb, and cook the meals that I volunteered to prep as part of the family planning. And then we've got the list of dishes that one of my other campmates is bringing for the kitchen. I'm not actually bringing kitchen stuff, I'm bringing food. So we're doing coffees, we've got spaghetti and soup and baked potato night, snacky lunches because we all get hot during the day, and some really basic breakfast. All right, again, this is me making lists to make my life a little bit easier. I do camp in reenactment canvas, so I need my canvas tent, my wall poles. I need to make sure my center pole, both pieces of it, makes it into the tent, or makes it into the car. I also have a banner pole so that people know which tent is mine. A hole that goes into the ground to hold up the banner pole. The actual banner itself, some stakes, a hammer to put the stakes into the ground, ropes to keep the tent poles up, gloves so I don't destroy my hand. I tend to do my floor with a mixture of tarp and painter's drop cloths. So I'll put the tarp down first and then I'll put the tent floor down to keep water from seeping in under the floor. I also put a rug out over under my tent awning so that Zoe has a comfy place to hang out during the day. We've got some lights so people don't, if they are inebriated walking through camp in the dark, trip over my ropes and take down my tent. It's never happened to me, but I've had enough people trip over tent ropes in my tenure with the SCA that I wanted to make sure that my ropes are illuminated at least. I have one of those TV stand dinner folding tray things that I usually take with me to site for anything from setting up like a water station outside of my tent as hospitality to sometimes I use it for my morning toilette. It just kind of depends on what's needed. I'm taking folding chairs, one for each of us and my family group this time. I've got a collapsible closet and hangers that are going with me to hang up my clothes. I prefer LED candles for lighting up my tent and my camp space after dark instead of flashlights usually, because they're not as harsh and my eyes adjust to them a bit easier. I use a heavy-duty camp cot and mattress pad that goes with it to sleep on. All of the stuff for Zoe. It kind of takes up its own thing, and it all fits in a Home Depot bucket. So, something to keep in mind. I don't take like 40 pounds of dog food. I'm gonna scoop out a couple giant bags of enough food to feed her while we're gone. Dog crate, so she has a place to hang out and I don't have to worry about her if I'm off doing something that's not the best for her. Let's see here. We have collapsible water jugs. I find those are super handy when we have water on site. I was gifted a wagon, which makes hauling water and trash much easier, I have found, for camping events. We're taking a cooler, and that's where we're going to put all of the prepped food in. I tend to need spare batteries for the LED candles. We don't use real candles in the regions I camp in because wildfires. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm in the Intermountain West. We get enough wildfires without needing more. We've also got snacks. I'm going to take with me solar powered phone charger. Was a game changer. Make sure it's got the right cables for you or find appropriate ones. And new stuff, because I'm going to do some filming hopefully. I'm going to take my camera bag, my tripod, and I want to make sure that I'm bringing a lantern and some table covers to kind of just keep me immersed as best I can in my tent space. I don't really blame or care if other people are having their own thing, but I like to make an effort. I specifically put in one of these extra little things for textiles. So I need to remember my sheets, my pillow covers. I'm going to take a comforter because I'm camping with just me and Zoe in the tent. So I will get cold at night. Pillows, blankets. I usually put a couple lamphors for her to snuggle on top of. That way she's not getting my sheets dirty. Because the dog likes to roll around in the dirt. And then if she's rolling around in the dirt and then in my sheets, it's gross. But she can snuggle with the lamphors. And then I'll clean these after the event. Some miscellaneous other textiles I want to keep in mind. A towel for showers, whether that is like medieval style hand washing and kind of non-traditional shower for modern standards. Washcloths, some flour sack towels I found are super handy if I get soaked or if things spill. The dog crate cover and the dog bed that goes in the crate are going to be some things that I've washed since Battlemore. I need to get back into my tent or into my camping gear. Okay, so I'm going to pull this back. If you want to take a screenshot, feel free. If the camp list that I am using sounds like something that you want, again, comment down below and I will see about putting together like a worksheet or something fun for you. So again, this is the camp space taking care of Zoe and my space, creating the space. This is taking care of me and making sure I am ready to go. I like to keep a wash basin on hand in case I don't have showers available. I can usually do some quick washing and keep myself fairly clean in camp by just closing the tent and taking care of myself. We've got soap. We've got some rose water to scent any wash water I put in the basin. It makes my hair smell nice and I enjoy it. This is not required. My hairdressing box usually has my comb, hairdressing supplies, and a lot of my toiletries in it already. We're going to make sure we've got toothbrush and toothpaste and floss because we don't love dental decay in this house. We've got some deodorant, sunscreen. Things that have changed this year, we're going to be taking an ankle brace, aspirin. I'm taking dry shampoo just because of the length of the camping trip to kind of keep my hair fresh. A sewing kit. That's because I usually end up doing emergency repairs for folks. Whatever project I'm working on, and I might take my hiking stick for the same reason of my ankle brace. So, garb, I'm going to plan on taking my parasol and my fan to try and keep cool and in the shade. I tend to live in ancient Roman or Imperial Roman clothing. So I'm going to take 2 changes of outfits, a shawl and a belt, That way, if it's just too hot to exist, I can not die of heat stroke and wear that. Generally, I tend to live in English smocks and kirtles, so I'm going to take some kirtles, some smocks, a set of sleeves, and a couple of coifs. I'm also going to take a sash in case I don't feel like wearing the apron. I tend to put on my dressing gown over whatever smock or camisa I was wearing the night before, because I'll use that as pajamas usually. I'm going to also take some Venetian drawers, my stays, and a couple extra camisa in case I just want to lounge around in my 16th century underwear because it's comfy. We're taking extra stockings, so my Roman shoes, my boots, my 16th century shoes, all for various reasons. The boots in case it's gross outside because the mud might soak off my little slippers, and I don't want to jack up my Roman shoes. I'm going to take some garters, a couple of headscarves, and a woolen jacket. This might be the red jacket that I made in one of my previous videos during the pandemic, unless I get really, really excited and try to cut a new one out and sew it together in the meantime. I am, after this trip, going to stay with family, so I will be gone for a little bit. I'm going to take some normal PJs, some jeans, and some long sleeve shirts or t-shirts or something, some sundresses and flats. That way I can wear, I guess, modern-ish clothing while I'm running around with my family. I'm also debating my Norse outfit that I made earlier this year. It's kind of a trope for people in the Outlands to be seen wearing Norse. I think it'd be funny. We'll see. It's going to completely depend on how much room I have. I want to make sure I'm packing my jewelry. I will usually put that as well in my hairdressing box because I can lock it. And underwear. So, basic plans. We've got the last minute, don't forget to do this list for the day before. Food prep that we've done early. The tent packing stuff. All of this. And I'm just making a list of activities and goals. So what do you think? I used to do this a lot in college between courses. That way I wouldn't forget something in the group camp. But I'd gotten away from doing it because I was just camping like every other weekend, it felt like, for several years. So if you are getting back into the groove of historical reenactment or camping or whatever other things you're doing, I would love to know about some of your hacks down below. Some of my general just hacks, this is going to be like my 5 tips for camping. In general, I always try to leave a set of clean clothes in the car. That way, no matter what happens on site, be it tornadoes or torrential downpours or whatever, it could be nothing. You've got a clean set of clothes that you can change into, because that can change your entire outlook on the world before you leave site. I always try and keep one plastic bin around, and that's to save my electronics. If we are having a massive flooding event that was unplanned, as happened a lot when I camped in Arizona, I want to make sure that my tech is going to survive that, and the easiest way for me to do that with tech or my purse, belongings, stuff like that, is I will pack most of my essentials into a plastic bin that fits under my bed. And then if we're starting to have some weather concerns, I can make sure that stuff like this camera and all of that is in the bin and safe, without having to hike all the way back out to parking to put it in my car. If you have the option, I always try to bring some extra drinking water, because while most of us are okay, sometimes people get sick on site, and you want to make sure that you're not getting whatever crud is going around. When I go between sites after dark, actually, I'm going to use a LED candle. instead of a flashlight. I can get one of my fairly bright ones, but it's still not as aggressive as a traditional lantern. That's so that my eyes can adjust to the night and kind of see what's going on and I don't blind people. Make a plan to get to site so you're not setting up in the dark. I have set up in the dark so much over the years. It used to be the running gag for my college group that it wasn't an event until one of us showed up after dark because something happened. And we're all sitting there with the lights going and the cars running, trying to get the tents up so we can get to bed at some point that night. I have gone, maybe it's just a privilege thing of now I've got the ability to, or the forethought, I don't know. But when I'm going to something like Pennsic, the last time my friend and I got an Airbnb and we camped, or we slept there rather than trying to set up in the dark because we knew it was just going to end badly and we're going to keep people up. If you are sleeping with one of those tent heaters like the Mr. Heater Buddy or something, make sure that you've got ventilation going in and out of your tent to make sure there's not a carbon monoxide buildup, especially if you're in a modern nylon tent. So there's some of my 6 tips from camping events that I've done over the last decade plus, I'm gonna say 15-ish years, and trying to relearn how to do the things. I hope you have a fantastic day. Tell me about your reenactment camping plans down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.